Hello Duelists, Jerome here from R&D. I have got a box of the yet-to-be-released Cross Souls booster that we are going to go ahead and open up for you today. I'm a big fan of Cross Souls, actually, out of all the sets we've released in the 2014-2015 dueling season, and that's Duelist Alliance, New Challengers, Secrets of Eternity, and now Cross Souls. Out of those four main boosters, this one is my favorite because it is an absolute blast for people who love to build new and exciting decks, or to take the decks they already have and use them in a different way. So we got 24 boosters here. Let's start opening them up, see what we get. One thing I don't get to do enough of is actually open up booster packs, so this is pretty exciting. Alright, we got Edge and Saw, Primitive Butterfly, Raid Raptor, Frightfur, Rebirth the Melodious Maestro. Oh, we already got a super rare, powerful Rebirth. This is a card similar to Call of the Haunted or Oasis of Dragon Souls. Gets you level 4 lower monster, revives it with plus 100 attack and defense, and its level increased by 1. So that's helpful for synchro or Xyz summoning, or just getting monsters back like you might want to in a Tellarknight deck. We got a lot of Fluffle and Raid Raptor cards here as well. It's an interesting new fusion strategy that more and more cards are going to be released for as time goes on. And we got one of the Zephyr Pendulum monsters, but we're going to talk more about that a little later on, and in a separate video about the Zephyr strategy. Also, let's keep a hold of Schuberta. The Melodious monsters are going to branch out into fusions as we go forward. Alright, next up. Formapal, another Zephyr. This one's a Shadow. Another Zephyr. This is a Tellarknight. And speaking of Tellarknights, we got ourselves an ultra rare Tellarknight Ptolemaeus. This is definitely the standout card, I think, of this pack. Tellarknight Ptolemaeus is made from any 2 or more level 4 monsters, so you can theoretically play it in any deck that uses level 4 monsters, not just Tellarknights. And it has 2 special abilities. One is if it has 3 or more Xyz materials on it, you can attach them all to rank this up to a rank 5 monster, except for a number monster. And if you can get 7 materials on this thing and attach them all, you get to skip your opponent's turn, which is an incredibly powerful ability that we haven't seen in a long time. And you can also get extra Xyz materials on this from your extra deck by putting Tellarknight monsters on it. And actually this Tellarknight over here is a Stellarknight. You need Stellarknight monsters to put on Ptolemaeus. So if you get this to your extra deck, because it's a Pendulum monster goes there when it would go from the field to the graveyard, you can attach it as an Xyz material. So that's pretty good. Next up, I like Doomdog Orcthros. This is a trap monster, very interesting. Another Edge Imp. This is one of our World Premiere cards, UA Signing Deal. We got another super rare, that's pretty good. Zephyr and Infernoid. We'll have a separate strategy video on Infernoids later on. And Half Unbreak, which is a Yuma card from TV. Number S39 is one of Yuma's cards from the Zexal manga, so if you read that, you're probably already familiar with that card. But for me, the standout here is UA Signing Deal. One of the things that UA players have really been hoping for is an easier way to get their first monster on the field. Once you get one monster, the rest of the strategy flows naturally. But it's a little tough because right now they have only one level 4 lower monster, and that's the UA midfielder. UA Signing Deal special summons any UA monster from your deck, and you take damage equal to its level times 300. And it negates its effects. But that's fine, because what you're mainly going to do is use this to pull a UA monster out of your deck and then return it to your hand to special summon the monster that you're actually aiming for. So this is a very good card, and if you're playing a UA deck or considering it, definitely keep an eye out for this one. Alright, pack 4. We've had a pretty good run so far. Formapal, another UA monster. Raid Raptor, Doomdog. A Frightful Fusion monster. Raid Raptor, Fluffle. Super Heavy Samurai. And Yusenju Kodan. Yusenju are from the Secret Forces. I want to talk about Soulburster Gauntlet later. We'll probably get another chance at that. But for now, let's go with the Dreadnought Dunker, which is another one of the 10 World Premiere cards in this set. Dreadnought Dunker, 2,500 attack points, and you can summon it just like you would any other UA monster by returning the UA monster you control to your hand. This guy does piercing battle damage when he attacks a defense position card, and when he does damage, you also get to target any card on the field and destroy it. So this guy is a great way to break through defenses. Magma Dragon. Interesting little worm monster over there. Cybernetic Fusion support. Raid Raptor Mimicry. Another Doomdog Orcthrus. Ah, we got another Zephyr. This one's the Yang Zing. Formapal, Zephyr, Jet, and Fluffle Sheep. Alright, from here let's go ahead and talk about Zephyr Inu, Secret of the Yang Zing. It's no secret that a lot of the Yang Zing spell and trap cards are extremely powerful. In particular, Yang Zing Creation and Yang Zing Path are very important to recycle your cards or to get multiple monsters on the field to do a synchro summon. With Zephyr Inu, if he's pendulum summoned or destroyed by battle or a card effect, you get to search for a Yang Zing spell or trap card or a Zephyr spell or trap card. The thing with the Zephyr is that they're all a dual theme. It's one big theme as Zephyr, and also cards for 5 individual themes. So it works for both. They're very cool cards. Aha! We've got Soprano, the Melodious Songstress, another Frightfur, Magma Dragon, Fusion Support, Suture Rebirth, Despot 04, the next in another series, and Fiend Griefing. 2 really interesting cards here. We'll save Fiend Griefing for later, but Soprano the Melodious Songstress is a monster that lets you fusion summon using your Melodious cards. On the field, I believe. Yes, field. So this is what you would use to get Schuberta. Stuff, we've got Chosen of Zephyr, Zephyr Path, another Soprano, Designer Frightfur, Fusion Conscription, another Soulburster Gauntlet, Edge of King, and the UA Penalty Box. Let's see. This time around, let's go ahead and talk about the Soulburster Gauntlet. One of the developments in the Super Heavy Samurai theme that started in Secrets of Eternity is effects that you can use when you have no spell or trap cards in your graveyard. And Soulbuster Gauntlet is one of these, and it lets you double the defense points of one of your Super Heavy Samurai monsters. So you can get Big Benkei up to, 7,000 defense points, and considering that he can attack from defense position, that is quite a lot. Got another super rare in this set. Super Heavy Samurai Battle Ball is a tuner that you can use to summon the Warlord Susanoo from Secrets of Eternity. This guy is pretty handy because it lets you, it's another one of those, or it's another, if you have no spell or trap cards in your graveyard effect, and it lets you use your opponent's monster to summon your own synchro monster. Got another Zephyr here. An Xyz monster, Raid Raptor. Statue of Anguish. The Zephyr come in 5 different themes. We've seen Tallarknight, we've seen Yang Zing so far, we've seen Necroz as well. Ritual Beast Tamers are another one of the themes that gets Zephyr monsters. In this case, this one acts as a way to summon more monsters back from your graveyard when you normal summon or pendulum summon it. Aha! We picked up the other Ultra Athlete monster from the set. So just like you have an offensive player in the Dreadnought Dunker, you also have a strong defensive player, in this case, the Rival Rebounder. This guy, when you special summon him, you get to tank back a UA monster to your hand from the graveyard. Oh, that's right, we also got Shadow Zephyrs. Ah, we got another Fiend Griefing, so now is a good time to talk about it. Fiend Griefing is a trap card that targets a monster from your opponent's graveyard and shuffles it back into their deck. And then it lets you send a Fiend-type monster from your deck to the graveyard. Well, if you can think of Fiend-type monsters that you want to send from your deck to the graveyard, the first thing you're probably going to think of is Burning Abyss monsters. And that is where this card really shines. You can really mess with opposing strategies, especially graveyard, or ones that have a heavy graveyard element, by sending their cards back, for example, a Djinn releaser of rituals that your opponent intends to use for a ritual summon, while also triggering your own effects. Well, and speaking of Burning Abyss, alright, we have got our secret rare, and it is the new Burning Abyss monster for the extra deck. This is a secret rare. This is Dante, the Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss. He's a fusion of any 3 Burning Abyss monsters with different names. You can't summon them any other way than that, and he is a powerhouse. 2,800 attack points, can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects, and you can send Burning Abyss monsters in your hand to the graveyard to draw cards, which will also trigger their effects. And that's not even all. 3 effects, just like all the rest of the Burning Abyss monsters. When this guy goes to the graveyard, you get to send a card at random from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Dante is an absolutely stellar monster. Alright. We're getting a lot of Frightfur and Fluffle-based cards here. The Fluffle-based cards are interesting. Suture Rebirth acts like a Monster Reborn for Fluffle or Frightfur cards, so it helps you to keep your fusion summons going. And Designer Frightfur does pretty much the same thing. It targets an Edge-Imp monster or a Fluffle in your graveyard and summons it. And you can treat it as a Frightfur if used for a fusion summon, which is important because we actually got the card earlier, we might see it again. There is a fusion monster that takes 3 Frightfurs as its material, so being able to treat your monster as a Frightfur is handy, in addition to being able to revive it from the graveyard. Aha, we got another super. Man, we're just rolling in the foils here. Harpy Harvest is a new Harpy card. We had a few of those over the last couple of years. Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy was kind of a rebirth for the Harpy theme, and Legendary Collection 4 Joey's World also had the fan-favorite Harpy Lady Phoenix formation from the TV show. This card, Harpy Harvest, lets you use all the extra normal summons you get from things like, or all the extra summons you get from things like Harpy Dancer and Harpy Channeler to knock monsters back to your opponent's hand. Alright. Ah, Melodious Illusion. I really like this card. I think the art's pretty cool with the rainbow effect it's using there, and it also has a very powerful effect for your Melodious monsters. It makes them immune to opposing spell and trap effects, kind of like a Forbidden Lance, but instead of decreasing your attack points by 800, it lets your monster attack twice during the battle phase. Very good if you have a powerful monster like one of the fusions. Wow, we got the UA penalty box again. I like the UA penalty box because it very accurately represents the sport that it's inspired by. In hockey, a minor penalty is 2 minutes in the box. For UA penalty box, it knocks monsters out of the game for 2 turns. Let's We got another. Ooh, all right. Excellent. Very good. Well done, us. We got ourselves one of the ultimate rares from the set. This is Necros of Sophia. You might remember the original Sophia from Hidden Arsenal 7. It's a monster that you could summon by sending away one of each of the special types of summons from the field to the graveyard. Necros of Sophia, it has two different effects. The one you're more likely to use is its discard effect. You'll discard it from your hand with one of your Necros spell cards to stop extra deck summons for the phase that it's used in. Which is great because one of the things that Necros decks have trouble with is dealing with powerful cards like number 86, Rondominiad. Necros of Sophia, if you see your opponent assembling all of the cards needed to summon it, you can shut it down, for that phase at least. Its other effect, if you manage to pull it off, knocks all of your opponent's everything. Is it out of the game or back to the deck? Banish them. So they're gone for good if you can pull off that other effect. Okay. Rank up Magic Revolution Force. So the Raid Raptors are kind of like an Xyz version of Blackwings. They're very similar. Blackwings are a synchro-based deck that uses Dark Winged Beast type monsters. Raid Raptors are an Xyz monster-based deck that uses Dark Winged Beast type monsters. But their trick is that instead of having lots of different levels of monsters, they have lots of different ranks of Xyz monsters and use rank up magic spells to get their strategy going. Alright, let's take a look. Zephyr Path is one of the various Zephyr spell and trap cards that you can get using the effect of Zephyr Inu. This one puts a limitation on where people can special summon from. It limits it to the hand and the extra deck. So if you're playing against a heavily graveyard-based deck, something like Teller Knights that uses a lot of Call of the Haunteds, then you might want to think about using Zephyr Path to lock them out of that. Oh, nice. Okay. So we got another super rare here. This is the Melody of Awakening Dragon. So longtime Yu-Gi-Oh fans can take a look at this art and they know exactly who's depicted on this card. That's the Lord of D. He came out in the original starter deck Kaiba back in 2002. And he can be played along with a spell card called the Flute of Summoning Dragons to summon any two dragon-type monsters from your hand. So an early combo that was used was Lord of D with Flute of Summoning Dragon and 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Well, how do you get your 2 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon? You can play the Melody of Awakening Dragons. It lets you discard a card to add 2 dragon-type monsters from your deck that have 3,000 more attack and 2,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand. So if you have your Lord of D, your Flute, this card, and anything else, you can pull off the combo. It also works with some newer cards like Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, for example. Lumira Shield. Okay. This is another one of the world premiere cards from the set. It's an interesting little equipped spell that matches the attack and defense of your monster to the attack and defense, or defense, whichever is higher, to the attack or defense, whichever is higher, of the monster that your monster is battling against, plus 100. So it's very similar to the effect of the Wicked Avatar. And it also has, if you remember cards like Malevolent Nuzzler from the Battle Packs, it also has an ability that lets you pay life points to put this card back into your deck. You can either put it on top or bottom in case you want to draw it again or don't want to draw it again. Or just if you want to make your deck a little bigger in case you're heading towards a long duel. Oh, nice. Excellent. That works out fantastically. So, there's a fusion monster for Burning Abyss. We saw Dante already. Well, how do you fuse it? We use this card, the Terminus of the Burning Abyss. This lets you fusion summon your Burning Abyss monster using materials from your hand or graveyard, but it doesn't stop there. You can also banish this during your main phase to give one of your monsters plus 800 attack for the turn, which is helpful because a lot of your Malebranch monsters are kind of small, and if Dante goes down, you've spent a lot of them to make him, so you might only have small monsters left. Very cool card. I'm glad we got it too. I'm going to go put that in my Burning Abyss deck. Getting towards the end here, if you want to see more, we're going to talk about some of the specific strategies later on in other videos here on our YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe to that. And you can also get more information on the math behind building some of these decks and other new card previews from our strategy site, which you can get to off of yu-gi-oh-card.com. Let's see, what have we got here? Edge of Tomahawk. So the way the Frightfur and Fluffle monsters work is to fusion some of them, you need a Fluffle, and you need one of these Edge Imp monsters. The monster you need will vary from fusion monster to fusion monster, but the Edge Imps are Fiend-type monsters, and most of them have abilities that let you cycle them back so you can fusion summon multiple times in a duel, or to switch things up a little bit. In this case, you can change its name to match the name of a different Edge Imp that you've already played, which helps you get multiple copies of the same fusion monster in a duel. Last pack. And we got a Sea Dragoons of Draconia. You're probably seeing this before the sneak peek for Cross Souls, but when you participate in the sneak peek, this is the card that you will receive. It's another in a series of normal Pendulum monsters. This one has a scale of 7, and it is a Sea Serpent. Its ability is that, well, when it's in the Pendulum Zone, if a monster is destroyed by battle, you get to special summon a normal monster from your hand. And that does it. That is all the packs we have. Let's go ahead and show off some of our foil cards again. Got Utopia Prime, Tellarknight, Ptolemaeus, Terminus of the Burning Abyss, Melody of Awakening Dragons, Necros of Sophia, Harpy Harvest. We got the new Dante, Pilgrim of the Burning Abyss, Powerful Rebirth. Pretty good stuff overall. That'll do it for now. Go ahead and if you want more information, including up-to-date pictures from events that we're at, you can follow us on Facebook, Official Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, or on Twitter, which is also at Official Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, for more information. Thanks for watching.